Ever wondered how the wealthiest people in the world pay little to no taxes while the rest of us foot the bill? It's not magic, it's strategy. From billionaire tax hacks to leveraging debt, today we're uncovering the secrets the rich don't want you to know. These strategies are completely legal, and they're hiding in plain sight. We're diving into the exact ways the rich use tax laws to their advantage. Think borrowing against their assets, real estate depreciation, offshore accounts, and even something called the buy, borrow, die strategy. If you've ever felt like the system is rigged, this video will open your eyes. But here's the thing. It's not about evading taxes. It's about understanding the rules. And today, I'm going to break them down in simple, actionable terms. Curious how it all works? You're in the right place. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into wealth-building strategies and financial secrets. Get ready to see the tax code like you've never seen it before. Let's level the playing field. Borrowing against assets instead of selling. All right, let's talk about one of the wealthiest people's favorite strategies. Borrowing against their assets instead of selling them. Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually pretty simple and super effective. Here's the deal. Imagine you own a bunch of valuable assets, maybe stocks, real estate, or even a business. If you sell them to get cash, you're going to have to pay taxes on any profits, called capital gains taxes. But the rich? They say no thanks to selling. Instead, they go to a bank or a lender and say, "Hey, I've got this 10 million in stock or this amazing property. Can I borrow some money against it?" The bank loves this. Why? Because they're lending money to someone who's sitting on a pile of valuable assets. It's low risk for them, so they'll happily give you a loan, usually at a super low interest rate. Now here's the genius part. That loan isn't considered income, so guess what? No taxes. They get to use the money however they want, buying more investments, funding their lifestyle, or building their empire, without selling a single thing. And the best part? While they're using the loaned money, their assets are still growing in value. Stocks might go up, real estate might appreciate, and they don't miss out on future gains. So why don't they just pay the loan back quickly? Well, here's another trick. They can often keep refinancing, basically replacing the old loan with a new one, and avoid ever having to sell their assets at all. It's like playing a game where they keep their money working for them, and they avoid taxes along the way. They're not dodging taxes. They're just playing by the rules really, really well. Crazy, right? This strategy is one of the biggest reasons the rich stay rich, and it's something anyone with valuable assets can explore. So what do you think? Would you try this if you could? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, this is just one of the many strategies the wealthy use to grow and protect their money, using debt for investments. All right, let's dive into another smart money move that the wealthy swear by, using debt to make more money. I know, most of us were taught to avoid debt like the plague. But the rich? They see debt as a tool, not a trap. Let me break it down for you. So here's the thing. When the rich take on debt, they're not using it to buy stuff that loses value, like fancy cars or expensive gadgets. Nope. They're using it to invest in things that make money, like rental properties, stocks, or even businesses. Here's why this works so well. When you borrow money to invest, you're using what's called leverage. It means you're amplifying your ability to grow wealth because you're not just relying on your own cash. You're also putting someone else's money to work for you. Let's say you want to buy a rental property for $500,000. Instead of paying the whole amount in cash, you put down $100,000 and borrow the other $400,000 as a mortgage. Now, if the property's value goes up to $600,000, your $100,000 investment just earned you $100,000 in profit. That's a 100% return. Pretty sweet, right? And while that property is appreciating in value, you're also collecting rent every month to help pay off the loan. So in the end, the asset is paying for itself while you build equity. This works in the stock market too. Wealthy investors can take out something called a margin loan. It's like borrowing money from your brokerage account to buy more shares. If the stock goes up, they make a bigger profit than if they only used their own cash. But wait, here's the cherry on top. In many cases, the interest they pay on these loans is tax deductible, especially if they're using the money for business or investment purposes. That means they're not only growing their wealth, they're also cutting their tax bill. Win-win! Of course, there's a difference between smart debt and bad debt. The key is to use debt for things that increase in value or generate income, not for stuff that drains your bank account. So, what's the takeaway? The rich don't fear debt. They use it strategically to grow their money faster than they could with just their own savings. What do you think? Does this change how you feel about borrowing money? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Real estate and depreciation. All right, let's talk about one of the best-kept secrets the rich use to build wealth while paying less in taxes. Real estate and depreciation. Sounds a little boring, right? But trust me, this is where the magic happens. Let me show you how it works. So here's the thing about real estate. Not only does it grow in value over time, but it also comes with some incredible tax perks, like depreciation. And no, depreciation doesn't mean your property is losing value. It's actually a little loophole built into the tax code to help property owners save money. Here's how it works. The government assumes that buildings wear out over time, even if they're actually going up in value. So they let you write off a portion of your property's value every year as if it's depreciating. This is called a depreciation deduction, and it can save you big on taxes. Let's say you buy a $500,000 rental property. The government says you can deduct the building's value, let's call it $400,000, excluding the land, over 27.5 years. That's about $14,500 a year in tax deductions, even if the property is making you money and going up in value. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a paper deduction. It means you could be collecting rent every month, turning a profit, and still showing a loss on your taxes. That's what we call a tax-free cash flow. The more properties you own, the bigger those deductions get. That's why you hear about wealthy investors owning dozens or even hundreds of properties. They're not just building wealth, they're building tax shelters. And if you think that's good, wait until you hear about bonus depreciation. This lets you speed up those deductions and write off more of the property's value in the first few years of ownership. It's like getting a tax break on steroids. Oh, and one more thing. Even if you sell the property down the road, you might not have to pay taxes on all those gains if you use something called a 1031 exchange to buy another property. It's like hitting reset on the tax bill while upgrading your portfolio. So, what's the big takeaway? Real estate isn't just about collecting rent. It's about using the tax code to your advantage. Have you ever thought about owning rental properties? Or do you already? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Debt recycling. All right, let's talk about one of the smartest ways the wealthy keep their money working for them. Debt recycling. I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? Recycling? Debt? Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Stick with me, and I'll explain why this strategy is a total game changer for building wealth. So, here's the big idea. Instead of just paying off debt and being done with it, the rich turn their debt into an engine for making even more money. It's like giving your money multiple jobs, paying off debt and building wealth at the same time. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine you've got a mortgage on a rental property. Every month you're paying it down bit by bit, right? But here's the thing. While you're reducing that debt, the property itself is probably going up in value. And that's where the magic of debt recycling comes in. When the property's value goes up, you can go back to the bank and refinance, basically taking out a new loan based on the increased value of the property. That new loan gives you extra cash to reinvest without selling the property or triggering taxes. Now here's where it gets really fun. The money you pull out from refinancing can be used for new investments, like buying another property, investing in stocks, or even starting a business. This is how the rich build their portfolios over time without using much of their own cash. And they don't stop there. As the new investments grow, they rinse and repeat, refinancing again, putting that money back to work, and scaling their wealth faster than ever. Of course, it's important to use debt responsibly. Debt recycling only works if you're using the borrowed money to invest in things that will grow in value or generate income. It's not about taking out loans to fund a luxury vacation or buy a fancy car. So what's the big takeaway here? The rich don't just pay off their debt, they use it to grow their wealth over and over again. Have you ever considered leveraging equity or refinancing for investments? Dynastic wealth planning. Okay, let's talk about dynastic wealth planning, a strategy the rich use to ensure their money doesn't just last for their lifetime, but keeps growing for generations. Think of it like setting up a family legacy that lives on long after. Why dynastic wealth planning is all about structuring your money and assets in a way that protects and grows them over time, while minimizing taxes and ensuring your family benefits for years to come. Here's the big picture. The rich don't just think about building wealth for themselves. They think about how to pass it on without Uncle Sam taking a big chunk. And trust me, there are some really clever ways they make it happen. Trust fund with cash flowing in and staying secure. So one of the biggest tools they use is something called a trust. Think of a trust like a protective box where you put your money, real estate, or investments. Once it's in there, it's shielded from estate taxes, creditors, and even family disputes. The best part? You get to decide how and when your heirs can access the money. Want them to get their inheritance at age 30 instead of 18? No problem. Want the money only used for education or starting a business? You can do that too. Here's the thing about inheritance. If you're not careful, your kids and grandkids could lose a big chunk of it to estate taxes. That's where dynastic wealth planning shines. By using trusts, gifts, or strategies like life insurance policies, the rich can pass on wealth without triggering those massive tax bills. And speaking of life insurance, did you know it's one of the most underrated tools for passing on wealth? Here's how it works. Wealthy families take out large life insurance policies, and when someone passes away, the payout goes to the family tax-free. It's like giving your heirs a giant tax-free G. Another cool trick? The rich don't wait until they're gone to start passing on their wealth. They use annual gift allowances to transfer money to their kids or grandkids tax-free. In some countries, you can give tens of thousands of dollars per person per year without paying a dime in taxes. And then there's the family business. If structured right, businesses can be passed down through generations without triggering massive tax bills. And for families who don't own businesses, investments like real estate or stocks can become legacy assets that keep growing for decades. The key to dynastic wealth planning is thinking long-term. It's not just about avoiding taxes. It's about making sure your wealth keeps growing while staying protected. That's how the rich turn their fortune into a legacy. So, what do you think? Have you ever thought about setting up a financial legacy for your family? Or do you know someone who's already doing it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, let's bring it all together. We've covered some seriously powerful strategies today. Borrowing against assets, using debt to invest, real estate depreciation, debt recycling, and dynastic wealth planning. These are the exact moves the wealthy use to grow their fortune, protect it, and pass it down for generations. The big takeaway? The rich don't play the same financial game as everyone else. They understand the rules and use them to their advantage. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a millionaire to start applying these strategies. It's all about mindset, knowledge, and taking that first step. So which of these strategies stood out to you the most? Is there one you'd like to learn more about or maybe even try yourself? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe even answer your questions in a future video. And hey, if you found this video helpful or eye-opening, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss another video on building wealth and unlocking financial freedom. We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep dreaming big and building the life you deserve.